killing civilians, even for the purpose of revolution and freedom, must be considered as terrorism. And if that killing is especially motivated by political motives and organized by a militant group, all those attacks must be considered terrorist activities. And the proponents and leaders of these groups must not be taken as idols. But the present Hindutva motivated Indian BJP government considers such leaders to be their role models. That's why India is engaged in a theocratic Nazism. It's about time the world should wake up. And India has spread its fangs, philosophical Hindutva fangs, into Bangladesh. The Hindu Vishwa Parishad's Hindu Mahajats leader, Mr. Govinda Pramanik, in a recent interview with me, acknowledged that he believes in the Vishwa Hindu Parishad philosophy. And the Indian Prime Minister, Indian Home Secretary, Indian Ambassador to Bangladesh, all were seen with him. Should we not have reasons to be concerned? Isn't India becoming another Nazi Hitler's regime? Isn't it about time the world should wake up against this neo-Nazi philosophy of Hindutva? Between 1905 and 1911, during the British rule, Bengal was partitioned into two, West Bengal and East Bengal. East Bengal was predominantly a Muslim region, which was poor and had Hindus who were of the lower caste. Whereas the West Bengal, which you can see in red, was mostly consisting of higher caste Hindus, where Muslims were minorities, and they were richer. The Hindus of the West Bengal were richer. The Hindus of the West Bengal owned most of the vast properties of East Bengal. The capital of British India was Calcutta, which was in West Bengal, now known as Calcutta. And East Bengal mostly consists of the region of today's Bangladesh. The West Bengalis, led by higher caste Hindus, wanted to stop the partition of Bengal because they didn't want to lose the grip of their lands. And they engaged in terrorist activities throughout India in the name of liberation. This included bombing campaigns. And the first recorded religiously motivated, politically charged, fascist, ultranationalist bombing campaign started in the history of South Asia. This is Khudiram Bose, of higher caste Hindu of West Bengal. And Khudiram Bose was born in 1889 and he was hanged in 1908. He was a Bengali Indian revolutionary who opposed British rule. He was only a teenager when he carried out a bomb attack against a carriage which was supposedly carrying the British magistrate Kingsford. Magistrate Kingsford, however, was seated in a different carriage, resulting in the deaths of two British women. His companion, Profullu, committed suicide before the arrest. Khudiram was arrested and tried for murder for two women, ultimately being sentenced to death. Now, this Khudiram was motivated by Hindu sannyasis, and you can read up about the matter further in News Archives. From News Archive, it says, Homeward Mail, India, China and the East. September 12, 1910. It reads, It will be shown, Council submitted, that the aims and objectives of all the branch and head Samitis, I will explain to you what Samiti is all about in a few minutes, were in absolute agreement to overthrow the government established by law. It was not a visionary ideal for a far-off revolution, blah, 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 blah. And it goes, for the latter purpose, they had resort to misrepresenting government. These young men were given hard physical and mental training. After the Samitis had ceased to exist, libraries full of revolutionary books with some other books to give an appearance of an ordinary library were started. In these libraries, there was a curious amalgamation of war and religion. Council then referred to various books alleged to be incriminating, especially Mukti Kon Pothe, that means in Bengali it means freedom which way. Bartaman Rananiti, that means today's strategy for war, and the Gita. Gita is a book, Hindu scripture, and songs in praise of Prafullo Chaki, the man who committed suicide before he was arrested in the bomb attack with Khudiram. Prafullo Chaki and Khudiram Bose, which was found in various speeches. The Gita Council submitted was much perverted for the purpose of endangering society, and he especially referred to the 37th sloka of Book 2, which says, "Kill and you will obtain heaven. The victorious will enjoy heaven." You see, it goes on to read, several boys such as Dinesh Chandra Gupta, Shantipada Mukherjee, shadowed the Lieutenant Governor of Agartala in the grab of sannyasis. The dialogue of Anandamath denouncing all earthly ties, undearly the entire code of vows of the Samiti. Another book mentioned was Shikar Balidan, written by Kumuddini Mittar, daughter of Krishna Kumar Mittar, editor of Sanjeevan, and cousin Aravinda Ghosh, cousin of Aravinda Ghosh. I'll tell you who this Aravinda Ghosh is as well in a few minutes. 4 copies of the book were found in the Samiti. An astonishing preface was given to it by a notable person, namely Surendranath Banerjee, editor of Bengali. Several of such terrorists were incarcerated, jailed in Alipur Central Gaol. And they were all considered terrorists because they were using bombs to kill civilians, including judges. Here. This is on Saturday, 24th October 1908. Homeward mail from India, China, and the East. Page 48 of this research book, Revolutionaries and Their Activities in Northern India. And if you go to page number 48, you will see Gandhi condemned such terrorist steps for independence. You are seeing excerpts of the judgment against Khudiram. Khudiram Bose joined Anushilan Samiti, which was a revolutionary organization against partition of Bengal, and also it was steered by leaders who were engaged in bombing campaigns. This Anushilan Samiti had its branches all over East Bengal as well. That was known as Anushilan Samiti Dhaka. Now this Anushilan Samiti was led by Aurobindo Ghosh. You remember the name I told you to note? Aurobindo Ghosh. This Aurobindo Ghosh. And his brother Barindra Ghosh. This is his brother Barindra Ghosh, and is led by Aurobindo Ghosh. And Khudiram Bose was inspired by this organization. Anushilan Samiti's founder, Aurobindo Ghosh's brother, Barindra Ghosh, sent his associate, Hemachandra Kanungo, to Paris to learn bomb making from Russian technicians. And he did. And he brought the technology back to India to engage in bombing campaigns, which continues up to today. The flag, known as the Calcutta flag, was created by this bomb technician in 1906. You can read it up here, and you can see a similarity of today's India's flag with it. This Calcutta flag was first raised by this bomb maker in the International Socialist Congress of Stuttgart in 1907. Aurobindo Ghosh was arrested in the aftermath of a number of bomb outrages linked to his organization, Anushilan Samiti. But in a highly public trial where he faced charges of treason, Aurobindo could only be convicted and imprisoned for writing articles against the British rule. He was released when no evidence could be provided following the murder of a prosecution witness during the trial. This should tell you a lot. This is Vinayak Savarkar. He's the man who coined the word Hindutva in 1923 in his writing. And in his writing, all the religions which were born in the Indian subcontinent could be included in this Hindutva philosophy. And the others were not part of this Hindutva. So didn't have any room in India. They are not to be considered even as religions by many of the followers of this ideology today. So in his writing, Hindutva philosophy, Abrahamic religions had no space, especially Christianity and Islam had no space. You can read details about this in this writing, Hindu-Muslim Tension in India, an interface between census and politics during colonial India. Research done by Ram B. Bhagavat, PhD, International Institute for Population Sciences. You can read all about this here. Now, after being re-elected, Modi swore by Sri Aurobindo's powerful nationalism speech on May 30, 1909. That means Modi is motivated by Hindutva and Aurobindo. These bombing campaigns continued for decades after the Bengal partition was seized. This is Lancashire Evening Post, 5th August 1932. It reads, I will read from it. A bomb was flung at the railway carriage in which Mr. Rai Bose, district magistrate for Faridpur, that means in present-day Bangladesh, and Mr. Rahman, a police superintendent, were travelling on June 13th at Rajbari, Bengal, and they had a narrow escape. Mr. Robert Douglas, the successor of magistrate and collector of Medinipur, and Mr. James Petty, who was murdered last year, was fatally shot on 29th April by two Bengalis while presiding over a meeting of the district board. On December 14th, Mr. C.G.B. Stevens, district magistrate, was killed. On October 28th, Mr. Villers, president of the European Association, was shot and wounded in his office. On October 27th, Mr. L.G. Dern, divisional magistrate at Dhaka, present Bangladesh, Bengal, was shot in the face by Bengali youths and lost his right eye. This is from Yorkshire Post and Leeds Intelligencer, Monday, 27 October 1924. It reads, Amongst those arrested, a Central News Telegram says, Mr. S.C. Bose, Chief Executive Officer of Calcutta Corporation, and Mr. S. Mita, Secretary to the Bengal Swaraj Party. It says, it is also stated that the conspirators have manufactured a new and highly dangerous type of bomb and have secured considerable quantities of foreign munitions. You see? Again, this is in Portsmouth Evening News, Monday 1 September 1930. The terrorist campaign in Bengal. This is Vishwa Hindu Parishad. What is Vishwa Hindu Parishad? Vishwa Hindu Parishad, World Hindu Council, abbreviated BHP, is an Indian right-wing Hindu religious militant organization based on the ideology of Hindutva. Hindutva I was talking to you about. Hindutva, where there is no space for Christianity or Islam. This is an organization which includes the philosophy of Hindutva. The VHP, which considers Buddhists, Jains and Sikhs as well as native tribal religions as part of the greater Hindu fraternity, officially mentions that it was founded by Saint Shakti of Bharat, and I have already explained to you details about its position regarding Abrahamic religions. The VHP was first mooted at a conference in Powell, that's in Bombay, on 29th August 1964. The conference was hosted by RSS chief. This is another militant terrorist organization, RSS chief, Mr. M.S. Galwalkar. The date was chosen to coincide with festival of Janmashtami. The several representatives of the Hindu, Sikh and Buddhist Jain faiths were present in the meeting, as well as Dalai Lama. Oh God, the Dalai Lama. Dalai Lama is the current Dalai Lama of Dalai Lamas, are important monks of the Gelung school. You know, that Nobel Prize winner, Tibetan Dalai Lama. Galwalkar explained that all faiths of Indian origins need to unite, saying that the word Hindu or Hindustan, people of Hindustan, applied to adherents of all the above religions. Vishwa Hindu Parishad, a militant religious outfit, RSS nationalists, CIA fact book. Vishwa Hindu Parishad, VHP, has his presence very much in the US and various parts of Europe. Now you know the roots of VHP. The objectives. From 1982 to 1985, and over 66,000 people were reconverted to Hinduism following the VHP efforts. Reconverted. You see, 66,000 people. You see, so they are against conversion. You can find about it in Hindutva Ideology and Politics by A.A. Paravti. Vishwa Hindu Parishad had been aggressively involved in Ayodhya dispute over the Ram Janmabhoomi Babri Mosque before its demolition since 1984, after getting encouraged by the strong response it had got from Ek Mata Yatra program. It organized in 1983, which was aimed at Hindu unity and self-protection against Islam and Christianity. See, in Punjab, the Vishwa Hindu Parishad has played an active role to prevent conversion of Sikhs. Majority of them are low-caste Sikhs converting to Christianity. According to Human Rights Watch, Vishwa Hindu Parishad and Bajrang Dal had been involved in 2002 Gujarat riots. you see, where Muslims were massacred by spreading a hearsay about a bomb plot. In this research book, Communal Crimes and National Integration, a socio-legal study, you can read on page number 177 how VHP members are actively engaged in forcing people back to Hinduism. Here. Inspired this root Hindutva philosophy, and they were behind the bombing campaigns throughout the revolutionary movement in India. Who are the sannyasis? Sannyasis, also spelled as sannyasin in Hinduism, a religious ascetic who has denounced or renounced the world by performing his own funeral, abandoning all claims to social or family standing. Sannyasis, like other sadhus or holy men, are not cremated but are generally buried in a seated posture of meditation. So, in other words, sannyasis are monks, Hindu monks, in short. Now, I'm reading from Irish Independent newspaper, October 30, 1999. It reads, okay, the headline is, Anger Grows Over Pope's Visit to India. Pope John Paul's visit to India next week has provoked a stream of articles and letters in the Indian press, some of them deeply critical of pontiffs and Catholic Church. The critics are mainly hardline Hindus, proponents of the idea Hindutva, who feel their faith is threatened by Christianity. Aha. Well, now this thing has recently come up to the forefront, which is India's anti-conversion law in 5 states, but proposed to go national. Aha. Rajesh Singh, one of the leaders of RSS, a militant Hindu nationalist group, has stated on a national media that the RSS will make India free of Christians and Muslims by 31st of December 2021. Well, that should make things clear for you. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has always supported laws against conversion. And he even quoted Gandhi's support for laws against conversion. And the Indian media, who are liberal in some cases, have been critical of Narendra Modi's recent position regarding conversion laws, anti-conversion laws.
वीएचपी और बाकी के मुद्दे हैं उसके समर्थन में है, लेकिन कहीं ना कहीं उस वर्ग पे लगाम कसी जा रही है। भले ही केंद्र में बीजेपी का शासन हो, भले ही महाराष्ट्र।
Let's see. So the people's freedom is lost. I had interviewed the head of Bangladesh Hindu Mahajot, which is an alliance of Hindu social movements in Bangladesh, and he acknowledged clearly that they had common principles with Vishwa Hindu Parishad, VHP, and they are demanding that Hindu women must not get any inheritance from their parents, and also that they shouldn't have any right to divorce, because they think this rather creates more poverty in the Hindu community. And they are also vehemently against conversion from Hinduism to other religions. And they have named it love jihad. And he also encourages his followers to arm themselves in the name of self-defense. and to use force to get back their women from any Muslim men who would marry them. You can take help from your Bengali interpreters and friends to interpret in English what he's saying.
আমি উত্তরটা দেব। আগ্রহ নেই, কিন্তু আপনি তো প্রথমে তুলনা করছিলেন। দাদা শুনুন, আমি আপনাকে শুনুন, লার্নেড আপনি শুনুন, আমি আপনাকে কি বলি শুনুন। আপনি একটু থামুন, একটু শুনুন, আমাকে 2 মিনিট শুনুন। প্রথম কথা হচ্ছে আপনি শুনবেন না, এই জন্যই দেখুন আপনি নিশ্চয়ই জানেন যে ভারতে কিন্তু ট্রিপল তালাক ব্যান করা হয়েছে। ভারতে ট্রিপল তালাক ব্যান করেছে, আপনি তার পক্ষে? কে কাকে ছুরি মারবে বুঝলাম না। আপনি এখন কথা অন্যদিকে চলে যাচ্ছেন। আমরা আইন নিয়ে কথা বলছি এখানে, আইন নিয়ে কথা বলছি। আপনি কি ট্রিপল তালাকের পক্ষে না বিপক্ষে? আপনি আচ্ছা, তাহলে
You were saying that he didn't want to talk about Hindu laws with me initially because he had no interest in Islamic laws, but he always criticizes Islamic laws. And I was asking him whether he supported the banning of triple talaq in India, which is an Islamic Sharia issue, but he was trying to avoid it.
আমরা রাজনীতি নিয়ে আলোচনা করি। আপনি রাজনীতি নিয়ে আলোচনা করতে রাজি না? আপনি বিশ্ব হিন্দু পরিষদকে সমর্থন করেন, আরএসএস কে সমর্থন করেন? আপনি বিশ্ব হিন্দু পরিষদের নেতার মৃত্যুর সময় অনুষ্ঠান করেছেন তার জন্য স্পেশাল? বিশ্ব হিন্দু পরিষদের কোন এক নেতার মৃত্যুর শোক প্রকাশ করেছেন? আচ্ছা, বিশ্ব হিন্দু পরিষদের প্রিন্সিপাল আপনি বিশ্বাস করেন? কিন্তু ওসামা বিন লাদেনের মৃত্যুতে তো আমরা শোক বহন করব না। না, আমরা বলছি যে আমরা সাধারণ সভ্য মানুষ করবে না। কিন্তু আমার প্রশ্ন হচ্ছে, আপনি বিশ্ব হিন্দু পরিষদের প্রিন্সিপালে বিশ্বাস করেন? আপনি বিশ্ব হিন্দু পরিষদের প্রিন্সিপালে বিশ্বাস করেন? আমি আপনাদের প্রশ্ন, আপনি কিন্তু আমার গেস্ট, বিশ্ব হিন্দু পরিষদের প্রিন্সিপাল নীতি আপনি বিশ্বাস করেন? করেন? আচ্ছা, তাহলে বিশ্ব হিন্দু পরিষদ।
So he clearly says that he supported the principles of Vishwa Hindu Parishad, and there's no doubt that they are in alliance with the Indian Vishwa Hindu Parishad, which is nothing but a fascist lecture. He's clearly saying that he doesn't consider other religions to be even religions.
হিন্দুত্ব আমাদের ধর্ম এবং সারা পৃথিবীতে হিন্দু ধর্মই একমাত্র ধর্ম। অন্যগুলোকে আমরা অন্যগুলো আর যেগুলো আছে সেগুলোকে আমরা নিজেরা ধর্ম মনে করি না।
Clearly.